Hey everyone, super excited to go through the 2026 blueprint for TikTok Shop. This is the exact same blueprint that we are using at Social Commerce Club, which gets me incredibly excited to share this with you today. I think that this is going to be a really interesting walkthrough and probably something that a lot of you don't actually understand, which is great. I'm glad that you guys are here for this. We're going to be going through exactly what it takes to scale in 2026. And newsflash, I mean, the amount of different strategies and little shifts and pivots that we have had to make on TikTok Shop over the years is astounding. The amount of calls that I've had with brands is absolutely crazy, and really figuring this out. This is the strategy that we're using. Again, we're at Social Commerce Club, our agency, we're working with some of the biggest brands in the world. Scaling, we had a brand that did 5 million last month, which was awesome, and a lot of other brands that are doing really great numbers. And so for those of you guys who are like a little bit TikTok Shop curious, this is absolutely perfect for you to get the strategy out of this today. Again, I am actually recording this live for those of you guys watching on YouTube. I've got questions that I will be answering as we go through, so it's going to be a really great Q&A, but also really strategic, just so everybody knows. Awesome. So essentially there's these two different ways to think about TikTok Shop and the approach to TikTok Shop. So number one, and I think a lot of brands are doing this right now, is just like this kind of sort of this tab in Shopify, this secondary sort of idea of like, oh yeah, we're just going to treat it like another sales channel. One of the biggest mistakes that I've seen with big enterprise brands when we talk to them is that they actually put TikTok Shop into their marketplace division, like an Amazon, like a Walmart, like a Target. The difference though, just so everyone sort of understands, is that TikTok Shop is a demand generation channel. I actually saw a post on this on Twitter yesterday saying, what is the actual incrementality on TikTok Shop? Like, aren't brands just discounting and then losing a bunch of margin on customers that they would have had already? The answer is very clearly from all of the analysis that we've done, all of the stuff that we're doing within Halo, the tool, the software tool that I'll be launching very soon. All of our analysis is saying, no, it is purely incremental. People are not going yet to TikTok Shop. Now, I think that there is going to be a time and place where that actually happens, where people actually go to TikTok Shop to actually just like, search, I was going to say Google, to TikTok in the top, and actually go and search. As of right now, that is not the case. Right now, that is not the case. People are actually going there for specifically, they're going there to scroll, right? And as they're going there and scrolling, they're seeing ads, and that is why it is this massive demand generation channel. So really making sure that you shift the paradigm on that is incredibly important to start in anything that we're going to be talking about today. So treating it like a one-off sort of channel is really not the way to do it, which is why I've been so obsessive about having this as the central idea behind your brand, right? And the central way to start working with creators. I really think that creators are at the center of all of this. And so, the way that we think about it is really the systemic engineering, momentum, sustainable creator ecosystem, and really seeing businesses that actually are printing money, which is crazy. That I want to get into. And just so you guys know the questions, I'm going to hold off on questions just for a little bit here. So make sure you hold them. Sam, I see all your questions. Alex, I see all your questions. And I am going to get to those very shortly. So here is what our strategy is built on. These 4 core beliefs. And to be honest, it's taken us a while to get here, right? And a lot of different pivots. This is what is working incredibly well. We had a brand last month in October. They did $10,000 in sales. In November, we did almost $600,000 in sales, and incredibly profitably using this exact same system. So we really have gotten it at Social Commerce Club. That's again why some of the bigger brands in the world are coming and working with us as they're entering social commerce. The great thing for all of you guys is you can just take a lot of these strategies and try to implement them in-house. Or if you're not in the school group, come into the school group. I've got a bunch of trainings and stuff in there, and we're just kind of continuing on. So any trainings that we're giving our teams, we're now actually moving those trainings into school as well, which is really fun. So TikTok Shop OS. All right. So number one, our strategy is built on these 4 core beliefs. Number one, creators are the channel. So ads, offers, and ops all matter. But if you do not win creators, you don't win TikTok Shop. Now, I was having a conversation with a good friend of mine, industry friend of mine, whose brand is doing fairly well on TikTok Shop. They're starting to scale up sort of into the almost six figure kind of range. But the issue is that none of the creator content is hitting right now. It's just their personal content. I really, truly believe, personal brand content. I really truly believe that creators are the channel, right? And so understanding that now, does that mean like I'm talking about about brand owned content all the time? So I really truly believe that brand owned content is incredibly important as well, but creators are the channel. Now, momentum beats perfection. This is a really, really big one. Think about TikTok Shop and social commerce as a flywheel, right? You need to create this constant momentum, which is why I highly recommend the blitz methodology, right? You don't want to ease into TikTok Shop. You really want to blitz hard and then sustain. And I'll actually get into a few of those as well. And again, guys, remember, for those of you live, please put your questions in. If you guys are watching this on YouTube later or any other channels, put your comments down below and I will get back to them as soon as I can. Now, here's a really, really big one. And again, I was literally just talking to a brand about this same issue before because they are being attacked right now by malicious brands. I really, truly believe it's brands in their space that are just saying terrible things about them, which really, really is terrible for your shop health, right? So if your shop score sucks, nothing else matters, right? You won't even be able to reach out to affiliates. Like there is a point where it's like that harsh, right? With your shop health, it is incredibly, incredibly important. And then systems turn spikes into a business. This is a really big part of like what we have figured out at Social Commerce Club alongside of the blitz methodology, like what happens next, right? And that's a really big part of what we're doing for brands. I, again, will not have any secrets to anything that we're doing because I really want to make sure to share like all of this with you guys. And again, remember, I will get to those questions. Thanks everyone for throwing those in there. Lots of really, really great questions that we'll be going through here shortly. All right, number one, first, get your house in order. So this is really, really important. If your shop is not healthy, you don't have a strategy. Number one is fixing your shop score. So you can do that through fast fulfillment. Number two is low cancellation rate. Number three is accurate inventory. So really making sure that you tighten up your operations. Also, customer service is a big part of that, right? So who owns fulfillment? Number one, highly recommend, by the way, that you guys also use a product like ShopDance or somebody like them. Again, I'm not affiliated with them whatsoever. But you're using a service like that if you have multi-channel fulfillment available, and you can do that through Amazon. Whatever you can do to make sure that you are not selling out is really important. At the beginning of TikTok Shop, I was like, it doesn't really matter. Like, just get the FOMO going. No, it's really important, especially with creators. And when we get into talking about creators and why it's so important to creators that you actually have enough inventory, because creators are going to hate working with you. I remember chatting with Anna Casey, who used to work at the agency and is still one of our star creators that we work with. And her and I were chatting, and she was talking about this couch brand that she was working with and absolutely crushing. Well, they only had 500 pieces of inventory, and so she made some good money for a little bit. They sold out all their inventory. They were happy because they needed to get rid of that inventory. She was not happy, though, because she could have continued to sell. And so it does take a lot for these creators to make the content. Really caring about the creators and their time is really, really important. So this is a really, really big thing, right? No creator wants to be associated with a brand that can't deliver. I might actually talk about this later in the slides as well, but one really big thing that creators have told me is that they will not work with brands that do not have free shipping baked in. So I just want to make sure everyone understands that's a really, really big deal and a really big thing to have, is making sure that your free shipping is baked in to your product. So if you need to charge a little bit more but have free shipping, really, really important. The majority of creators will not work with you if you do not have that. It's just like one of the things. I have a YouTube video actually all about that, of like what creators want. If you just go back to my channel, just search Jordan West e-commerce entrepreneur, and you will see it there. Listing health is really, really important, incredibly important when it comes to this. Jim, in your question below the threshold, can you just let me know exactly what you mean by that? Just because it might actually work with what we're talking about right now. So generic listings obviously do not work. I actually, for us, created an interesting piece of software that essentially uses all of the best practices internally in Nano Banana. And now that Nano Banana Pro is out on the API and stuff, we're actually using that. And it's creating these like really eye-catching these really eye-catching listings. So your image stack is incredibly important. Recommending getting as many possible images that you can in there. And again, don't just use your Amazon listings. If you guys want to, I think that I've done a video on this, but it's definitely like a long description to do this. Then not titles and description. So make sure that you are writing for humans. If you're going to use ChatGPT, make sure you go through afterwards and make it a little bit more human as far as your titles and descriptions are concerned. And don't just do SEO optimized titles, right? What I see, a huge issue that I see with brands when they're entering the platform is that their conversion rate is really, really low, right? And one of the reasons why it's really, really low is because their listings suck. So again, making sure that there's TikTok exclusive hooks, really, really important, right? So making sure that creators have an edge with either a unique bundle or a unique SKU. And again, this is where we've seen the most amount of success. And it doesn't mean, so like people are like, oh, TikTok Shop, it's just a discounting channel. It's like, maybe like if you have to discount, maybe you need to learn how to market a little bit better, right? And so having TikTok exclusive bundles is really important, and TikTok exclusive hooks within there. So any way that you can somehow bundle your product together for TikTok is really, really important, and that really helps. And then making sure that you actually know your unit economics. If you guys do not, or if you have not tried out my, you know what, I actually have it on here, my forecasting tool. I think I just shared it with somebody, so I'm going to share it all with you guys here. This is the TikTok Shop forecasting tool. If you're watching this afterwards, that is it right there, where you guys can actually forecast for your brand, which I think is really, really important and really helps you understand where that break even exactly is, where your unit economics are. If you don't have your unit economics in order, none of this really matters, because you're going to end up selling a lot of product and just losing a bunch of money. And so we obviously do not want that. I'm going to get to Jim's question here. So Jim was actually wondering about what about a threshold, right? So $75 and get free shipping. So what I'd rather actually see there, Jim, is instead, if you don't want to sell a lower price item, so if you don't want to sell a $20 item, just don't have that item. Instead, just do bundles, right? So have something like that where people get free shipping just on whatever the bundle is, right? Especially if you're in the gifting space, I think that that's really important and something that I'm going to, that I'll get into. I'm actually going to get into just a couple of questions here, and then we're going to continue to go through my full strategy. I just want to make sure that we answer some of these questions, because I think that they are super, super important. So I'm going to get to Sam's question. Let's go right here. I have a brand. We sell dog gear like harnesses. We started a sister brand selling food and treats. They're both in the same TikTok shop right now. I've been doing live streams for the gear, but I want to start doing live streams for the food and treats. So question 1, do I split up the shop? Let's throw this on here. Do I split up the shop? That seems like a pain, but not in the butt, not worth it. We have 2 pages, one for the treats and one for the gear. So I want to do live streams through the new page for the treats. Would it be better to just maybe have the treats account to be an affiliate for the main account? Yes. So Sam, do not do a secondary shop. That's going to be way too much of a pain. You're absolutely right. Having 2 different pages is great. Use that same, and I hope everybody understands this is a really great strategy that Sam is talking about here. Have as many possible marketing accounts as you can manage, pointing back to your TikTok shop that are in different niches that look at that have different potential avatars, right? So I think that's great. Number 1, if it's a product avatar, that's a good idea. But make sure that they are pointing back towards your TikTok shop, right? And just set it up just like an affiliate account, right? So Sam, for this, you're just going to set up like basically a new TikTok shop account. You're going to get the number of followers that you're going to need, and then you're going to just start pointing towards your TikTok shop, and then obviously setting your affiliate commissions as 0. But remember what I said before. It's really, so this is a really great way to do it, where you're going to make a lot of, you're going to make a lot more money short term because you're not having to pay out the affiliate fees. But remember that creators long term are really the way that you absolutely blow up. And that's where the halo comes from, right? In my mind, the halo is coming straight from creators. It's not just my mind. It's like also, it's also just the stats that we're seeing as well. Awesome. I will get to other questions after. Yeah, exactly. You'd just be an affiliate for the main account. So you just set yourself up as an affiliate and point to that one. So that is exactly correct. All right. Let's keep getting into this here. And guys, just, I will go through. We've got lots and lots of questions here, which is great. Victor, I'll get to your questions in a little bit, but I want to just keep going here. Hopefully that helps. All right. Don't just hope creators find you, build an engine. TikTok Shop is a creator economy play with a logistics backend. So this is a really, really important part of all of this together, right? Making sure, so one of the big things that we have realized is the basics are really what it takes to actually be successful in TikTok Shop. And so creator onboarding and seeding is really, really important, and communicating. I think that one of the things that the majority of brands out there, whether you've been on Amazon or Meta, if you're like a D2C native brand, one of the big issues that I've seen is that people don't understand how to work in a creator first kind of world, right? And so part of that is just over communicating. If you think that you've communicated enough to your people, you have not, right? Like the majority of people are just not communicating nearly enough information to their creators when they onboard them at the beginning, right? And so what exactly does that mean? You guys can see down here, I created these slides with Notebook LM. Notebook LM is a phenomenal learning tool. So that's just like a little tip for you guys. If you want to get people into your brand and understanding your brand and all of the nuances within your brand, my recommendation is to use Notebook LM. So put all of what you want creators to talk about into a Notebook LM. Create, number one, you can create a slideshow like this. You can go through. Number two, you can create one of the podcasts. I don't know if you guys have listened to any of those AI podcasts that Google does. They're really, really great for talking about ideas to do with the brand. So we're actually starting to do this with brands at Social Commerce Club, as we're creating Notebook LMs, telling the creators, hey, just have a quick read or have a quick view of this video. So the video actually talks about the brand, right, through Notebook LM. Number two, have a listen to this. So they really have to spend about half an hour actually getting to know the brand. So just so everyone kind of understands. Now, what I'm talking about is when you get, Alex, I see your question there. I'm going to actually answer your question because it's perfectly timed right now in here. I'm speaking more to when you actually get people into your creator community, right? So as you're building out your creator community, whether that's in Discord or I was going to say Slack, but please don't build it on Slack. I don't think Slack would work necessarily for creators, but whether it's WhatsApp or Discord, those are kind of the two that I'm kind of going back and forth with right now. Make sure that as you're getting them into your community, that you are really indoctrinating them into what your community is. Now, one of the big things that, and this is just kind of like a bonus sort of tip for everybody out there right now, make sure when you're sending samples out to your creators that you have a one-pager in there that tells them the 3 points about your brand, what's different about it, and what they can talk about as a creator to do with your brand, something that could potentially help them go viral, right? If you can just give them a one-pager, it could even be like, it can be a postcard, it could just be like a 8.5 by 11 piece of paper that just goes through that. Make sure it's really, really simple. But for us as an agency, onboarding is incredibly important, right? So we run an incredibly tight process with forms, scalable sampling, and then asset kits that I'm sort of talking about here and that are really, really important. Now for creator acquisition, I just want to go back. The two tools that I'm recommending these days, number one is Reacher. Love those guys. I have advised those guys for a long time. They're building some incredible things. The second one is Yuka. Yuka also has some really, really great tools that I've seen. And so another great tool out there. Just letting you guys know that is super important. But the best possible way you are ever going to find creators. So here's something crazy that I heard this week, or that I discovered this week. Actually, I was chatting with Bora at Reacher, one of the founders at Reacher, and we were looking through, and it is absolutely wild. Oh, and if you tell Reacher that I sent you, they keep, I don't know what is wrong with their like coupon codes and stuff. You get something like 40% off or something like that if you say Jordan sent you. Just figure it out with them. Just say, oh, hey, Jordan sent me, and then they can figure it out. One of the crazy things that I found out with Bora this week was this. There are 3.5 million creators on the platform. 3.5 million. Can anybody guess, unless you've probably seen my Twitter and LinkedIn post about this, but can anyone guess in the comments how many creators have made in the last month of the 3.5 million? How many have made $1,000 plus. I'll wait a second here to see the comments. This is a good, so 5%. Tell me the amount of, because I can't do the math off 5%. Anyone have any ideas? The number will surprise you. 60K, 13 to 20K, a million. Yeah, you'd think a million, right? It's just under 50K, which is wild, right? So 50,000 have done $1,000 or more in sales of GMV. That's not commission. That's just GMV that they've produced for brands. So be very, very careful. Be very, very careful. It is crazy. How hard it is to work with creators. Yeah, I'll drop the URL for Reacher in 1 second here. I think I actually have it up here. All right, so I'm going to keep going here, and we'll get to more questions in a little bit, but this is really, really important. Again, you guys know me. I go on these tangents and stuff. I'm really hoping that this is very helpful for you guys as you're building out TikTok Shop. This is the stuff I just don't see anybody really talking about. And I'm like, man, this is the practical stuff that actually makes a huge difference, right? Like making sure you have a one-pager that brands actually understand, that creators actually understand is really important. Another big thing and another like my goal with these meetings, right, is to help you guys have paradigm shifts on how to work with creators, right? And just in general, how do you be successful on TikTok Shop, right? And helping with those paradigm shifts. To me, that's really, really important. So making sure the big paradigm shift is that when you go to a creator-based brand, right, you are no longer selling to the customer. You are now selling to the creator. And that is really important to understand and to have a big paradigm shift around, right? You are now selling to creators. And so just really important to know for your brand. All right, let's go back into my nice slideshow today. If you guys will know me at all, I used to never do slideshows. I actually they keep me on track so much. All right, let's talk about this engine's blueprint acquisition and onboarding. So again, on the creator acquisition side, I'm just going to keep going through this just for a second here. So affiliate tools and bots, important. Reacher, again, I threw the link for them in there. Competitor mining, right? So using tools like Calidata or Fastmoss to find proven creators is super important. We spent a ton of time in Fastmoss personally, tons and tons of time. And then community recruiting, right? So, I totally forgot to say this. This is the mind-blowing part here. Get the creators. So birds of a feather flock together. That's the principle you must understand, and that goes for literally everything. And so good creators will work with good creators, right? So if you can find one great creator and then get them to invite their friends, whatever you can do to incentivize them. What I talked about ages ago is that TikTok Shop is really like the MLM of our day. So like if you can somehow incentivize them to get their friends in, we've done that at Social Commerce Club. We are not above that at all, where we're incentivizing them to bring more and more people into our community is phenomenal. It's a really, really great way to do it. So whatever you can do to do that, we're going to be putting on at Social Commerce Club. We're really tight with, probably haven't told people, we're like a badged partner on the ad side as well. There's only like 20 of us in all of North America for TikTok ads in general. We're going to be putting on a ton of events like this with creators, with brands. Really, brands meet creators is like the important part is like find those, right? Remember, there's 50,000 of them that are producing money. So making sure that you find the one that knows the other ones is really important. And then number 2, don't piss them off. When you have worked with them for a while, if you're looking like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I paid them this much. Yes, they are helping you build your brand. This is really the win-win of our day right now. So another big thing on creator onboarding. So we have a lot of onboarding. And again, when I talk to my head of TikTok Shop, he's like, this is exactly the way that we systematically scale brands here in going into 2026. Onboarding forums, really important. Sampling at scale, making sure that like whatever you think you should sample, it should be more, to be totally honest. Sampling is so important, and getting as many possible products out there as you can. And then the Notion asset kits. Again, I just call it a Notion doc. You can use Google Doc if you want, but that is what I recommend. Okay, I've got a string of questions here from Candela that I'm going to get into. How long does an affiliate take to produce videos after receiving the sample? Very, very good question. So Creators, just so you know, they do get dinged if they do not post within a certain amount of time. I believe it's 14 days from when they actually receive the sample to when they have to produce the video. But again, I should go. If you guys are in my school group also, you should have access to my custom GPT, which has a lot of this information if you're asking it. So basically, it's my team's brain. We continually are updating it with new information. So if you're in our school group, that's something that you actually get access to, which is awesome. Something that our team uses. I see literally it's been used thousands upon thousands of times, which is really, really cool. How do you handle a creator who does not deliver content? So reaching back out to them, right? So this is this is more of a leadership sort of skill that I want to give you. And the idea behind it and the principle behind it is to inspire and not manipulate, right? So you could tell them, be like, hey, you suck. You're not delivering for us. I would much rather try to inspire them and be like, oh, hey, looks like you haven't posted yet. We sent you a sample. Here's a video of somebody who just made $10,000 last week posting this video. Maybe this will give you some inspiration. Let me know when you want to get that video out, right? This is the hand-to-hand combat that needs to happen. And so having somebody, either it's you or somebody on your team, reaching out to them is really, really important. Sorry, I have a million questions coming in here. How do they post generated content? Kendall, I'm going to need some more on yours there. Are there any more automation tools you would recommend for moving comms off of TikTok? A HubSpot-esque CRM, for instance. That is a really great question. We just use WhatsApp for all of this. I think that there is probably some room. I actually don't know of a tool that does that. Courtney, I'd love to be able to answer your question properly, but I actually don't know of a tool that does that. I have actually recommended that as features within Reacher, so that they can sort of be multi-pronged into all these places. Another little tip for everyone right now is on the greatest place to reach out to people is not email. It's not TikTok Shop. It's not on TikTok. It's actually on Instagram DMs. So Instagram DMs are still a really, really great place to do that. Are you paying the creator from the beginning, or is there the only incentive the commission from selling the product? Great question. I do not recommend paying out retainers unless they are creating content that you can reuse onto other platforms. So do not get into that game at first of having to pay a bunch of retainers unless they are a high-performing creator. Now, if there's a creator that has produced $50,000 of GMV and they're like, get in line, right? Which is that's kind of the place you want to be honest, if you're a creator. Then I would just say they'll be like, well, here's my rate. So I'm like, awesome. Can we pay you $400 to do 3 posts, right? And plus we'll give you 40% commission. Those creators can say whatever they want to you, and you just basically have to say yes. So that is the reality of that, Luis. Just so you know, the reality is if they are high performing creators. Now, I would try and get a relationship with them and be like, oh, hey, by the way, you look just like a creator that is crushed over here, and you make content just like this person that's crushed. You're going to have to use Fastmoss. You're going to have to use just all sorts of research to actually figure that out. So just so you guys know. Alex, a question, and I saw you ask this a couple of times, so let me tell you. Maybe you can talk about how to set up a TikTok shop from Germany or abroad. Yes, as a Canadian, I will tell you about that. So without having an LLC, no, you need to have an LLC. So unfortunately, you have to do that. You can easily do that through Stripe. Highly recommend doing that. And you do have to have somebody in the States that will be your representative to show their ID via a passport. So those are the two things that you need. So you do need to have an EIN when you enter the States. It's really, really simple to set this up, Alex, using Stripe's Atlas. So I highly recommend using their service. It's super cheap. It's like $500 to get your LLC. They have all of the services. It's so simple. It's really so simple. But then you need to know an American. So that's the other thing too, is do you know an American who is willing to be your representative? So if you can find that person, or you have somebody, there might also be some gray to black hat services that are doing that these days. I don't know. I'm not recommending them. If TikTok is watching this, I'm sure somebody from TikTok is on here. Just don't think I'm recommending that, but there's probably also. This is a good question. Do TikTok Shop affiliate videos work well as meta ads? Yes, incredibly well. ads that tend to perform really well on TikTok travel incredibly well to number one over to Meta, right? We're seeing some of so we do this at Social Commerce Club. We're like an omni-channel agency. So that's really our special sauce, is using a lot of this content across different platforms. You can also use some great tools that are out there. Livecom is one of them that actually puts these videos onto your different pages on your Shopify store. Livecom also actually has a way that you can do this through Klaviyo as well, which is really cool. So they're the only one that actually embeds straight into Klaviyo, which is awesome. So you can use them there. You can use them on YouTube Shorts. Again, use them on Meta, Facebook, and Instagram. Use them wherever you possibly can. Pinterest, right? If you get the rights to be able to use them. Sometimes you're going to need to pay for that. Or what you can do is you can use another tool. Man, I'm talking about a lot of tools here. I love tools. You can use another tool like Refunnel. Highly recommend Refunnel. Those guys are crushing with some of the stuff that they're putting out these days. But that's a really, really great way to be able to get access to whitelist on Meta specifically, and then actually pay a percentage of ad spend back to the creator to use their content, which is highly worthwhile, right? Like some of these, some of our best performing ads on, like, these are massive brands, just so everyone understands, right? They are crushing with this content. So just so everyone understands, I will drop the Livecom because it's with a Y. They have all sorts of cool stuff, and I'm going to drop that right here. Man, I am just linking. Tell them I sent you. All right, let's keep getting into it here. Are we available for hire to set up a TikTok shop? Potentially. You'll have to reach out to our team. Just go to socialcommerceclub.com and you can see if our team, I know we're just like wildly busy right now. So I think that we're booking into February right now as far as brands are concerned. So let me get into this part too. And this is just like really what I was trying to do today is really understand. This might be the last one that I do of these for the year, kind of depending on how, might potentially do one in 2 weeks as well. But I really wanted this to be like the overall masterclass of what you do on this channel, right? So number one, you do not, or number, I don't know, 173 of what I've talked about today. You do not quietly launch on TikTok Shop, you blitz. And that is so ridiculously important. So first, setting a launch date is really, really important. So give creators a clear window of when everyone is going to post. Let them know like, hey, we're trying to post all within this hour. What this does is it aligns with TikTok's algo, right? What you're trying to do is just game the algorithm, right? And that's why the blitz works so incredibly well. Now you have to invest in the blitz, right? Some brands have come back to me and be like, the blitz didn't work. And I'm like, well, how many did you send out? Well, we had 20 creators posting. I'm like, oh, that's not a blitz. That's not a blitz. We're talking like between 150 and 200 creators all posting within the same hour, their first videos, and then getting as many videos as you can out of them after that. Aligning the army. So making sure that you have a dedicated community, WhatsApp, I don't know why I have Slack in there. It should be WhatsApp or Discord for real-time communication. So that, again, is really important. Something that I'm going to try to build something off the side. We're trying to build as much as possible for the scalability of the agency right now. And I want to just try and give you guys these tools to be able to use. So that's something that we might be able to do. Now, incentivizing volume. So again, for business people out there, this is another really, really great way to incentivize. So I don't like to incentivize based on results because people don't have control over their results nearly as much as they have control over their inputs. So we try to incentivize the inputs. We recently had somebody post 97 videos for a contest because whoever posted the most amount of videos, and we said, we also like told them like, hey, so here's the type of video, right? That we need. So we need a face to camera. We need this. It cannot be an AI video. And we said whoever posts the most amount of videos tagging this product over the weekend will get, I forget what the prize was, trip to Disneyland or something. Well, we had somebody post 97 videos. Wild, absolutely wild. And then again, amplify all of this with ads, right? So that is the goal during this time, is like, try to incentivize getting as much content out there as possible. What we have seen at Social Commerce Club is a direct correlation, absolutely direct correlation between the amount of affiliate content and sales. When we start to see a massive dip in sales on TikTok Shop, we see a massive dip in affiliate content. It is a direct correlation, and we can see the same thing on the Halo side, right? Because we're measuring all this stuff now on Halo. So yes. Quick question here. Jordan, can you see this comment? Yes, I can. I can see this comment. It is working. I don't see any other comments from you, though, so feel free to throw another one in there. All right. The unlock. Volume is the key to ignition. Yes. This is where we're seeing this massive amount of creative happening, and how we can actually incentivize this creative to happen. So getting creators on board with doing more hooks, more angles. Volume creates more shots on goal to find what the winning creative is. Again, because it's the 80-20 of the 80-20 of the 80-20, we need to put out a lot of content out there to figure out which one is actually going to hit. And that's the crazy thing, is like, we just don't know all the time, right? We can see what other creators have done, and we can try to reverse engineer it. We just don't know, which is why you need to take a ton of shots on goal with your content and with creator content. So really, really important. And making sure that you can get creators. Like if you have a creator posting 50 to 70 videos, holy cow, do they ever know your product by this point, right? And then making sure you have back-end support. One of my recommendations too that I give to brands is like, that don't work with us, but we do this, is like create a custom GPT that spits out scripts, right? Like, that you just put in like who you are and it'll spit out some script ideas. Not that they're going to necessarily use the exact script, but I find that scripting is really important to just keep people on track. I even do it sometimes when I'm making videos. I'm like, I'm just going to have a script, like I don't do it for this, obviously you can tell. But yeah, super, super important to be able to have. Guys, make sure that you throw any of your questions in the side there. So, most brands stop at the spike, right? The blitz spike. So we'll see that happen a lot. This flywheel concept, right? And this is, talking about building the business afterwards. The flywheel concept. So the goal is to turn TikTok Shop into an always-on revenue engine with periodic spikes, but not a boom-bust channel. And a lot of people come to me like, it's great. Like we did a good job, or like at this one point, and then that happened. So this is really the idea, and this is like a brand idea, just so everyone understands. I came from the brands that we owned over the years were all in apparel. So if you guys know anything about apparel launches, you will know that releasing new product is essential to keeping the momentum going and to getting that really high level of repeat purchases, right? And customer lifetime value really comes from product, not from marketing, just so everyone understands. So the same sort of idea, right? And planning these recurring blitzes. We're doing this with brands now at Social Commerce Club across both D2C, a little bit on Amazon as well, and TikTok Shop. And we're really finding incredible success doing that and planning out these marketing moments, right? These moments are super important to keep the momentum going. So think moments, momentum. Track performance, obviously, tune your commissions, and then start upgrading creators. And that's a really important part of all of this. I'm going to get to a question here on the side here, and let's make sure we get this question right on here. All right, had a question regarding seller signed content. Just onboarding an affiliate to pump out 2 to 4 videos a day for us on our official page. I believe that will rocket us outside of our 20K a month GMV goal. Have you found, let's put this on here, have you found that the majority of GMV comes from seller signed content at first? That is not always the case, but I will tell you, again, I am really love controlling the things that I can control, and our content is one of those. So the more things that you can control on the platform, and that's one of the things brands need to understand when they come over to TikTok Shop, is like, cool, on Facebook, like you could control everything. You can't control creators in the same sort of way, right? And you can incentivize them, you can, really try to inspire them, but it's really, really difficult to, control them, right? And so you can control your own content. So I absolutely love that you're doing that. I think that that's a really, really good way. Also, here's a follow-up question to that. Also, how would you market a high stim pre-workout? We're currently at 20K GMV a month. Is it possible for us to look into a month consistently with the competition currently? Oh, that's a really good question. How would I potentially market to that? I mean, I would just be finding all of your competitors. So I'd go to Fastmoss. I would look at every single one of your competitors. They're going to have most likely at least 1 to 2 videos that worked really, really well. I would reverse engineer those videos, right? And then start to make those videos with your personal brand. And then I would also take those videos, right? That same sort of idea. And I would start looking for creators that are similar to those. I would even reach out to your competitor creators. One of the things that I've learned from our creator group is that remember, these are not business people, right? They don't understand loyalty. They will work with whoever will pay them the most amount of money. They do not care. Like, that is one thing that is just crazy to me about creators. Like, they don't understand this world. And so that's very, very important. Will this work? I've got another question here. Man, such good questions today. Will this only work if you have multiple products? Would it work if you just have one SKU like a book? Luis, great question. Absolutely. If you have one SKU, I love the book play, by the way. There's some really great, I've been seeing some really cool book plays out there. Highly, highly recommend having a physical book that goes into like a coaching product or something like that, right? If you have that front end that then moves in, or if maybe your whole play is just the book. That's great. Book Talk is alive and well and starting to come into TikTok Shop. This is the time to push on books, in my opinion. So just so you guys know. So Victor asks, how do you manage out of stock situations using the blitz strategy? Can I keep the momentum once I get my stock back, or will I start with a new blitz, so to speak? Yeah, unfortunately, it really kills your momentum, Victor, which is why I highly recommend working with somebody like a Shop Dance or somebody like that can do multi-channel fulfillment. So if you have inventory elsewhere that is not attached to TikTok Shop, please make sure that you have that. Otherwise, you're just going to alienate all of your creators, right? And that's a really big deal. You do not want to do that. That really sucks. So just so you guys are aware there, and you would have to start with a new blitz, in my opinion. It's a momentum channel, right? You have to keep the momentum going, keep the ball rolling, right? When the ball stops, when you run out of inventory, whatever that is, that can suck. Now, we did have a brand that we worked with that did a decent amount. I think it was like 600 or 700K last month. And they decided they were about to stock out of one of their big products, but we had some alternates that we put in. It took about a day for us to make the switch. We put the alternates in, and lo and behold, it just continued to climb. So that again is like our team works with so many brands and so many places, and we kind of know how to do this. So not saying you can't, I'm just saying it was difficult. So, yes, I believe that we put them into the same product ID, or we just called it like PID structure. I believe that it was all part of that. That's a good question, Courtney. I actually will follow up with them because I think that's an interesting question. Okay, here's another really good question. So a lot of it's a statement that we're going to kind of turn into a question here. So a lot of our competition is just bottom of funnel content. Unfortunately, it's just brand is this much off. Yeah, guys, short term that works. Long term, if you're trying to build a brand that is scalable and sellable and, a household name, you don't want to do that crap. Don't do that. So yeah. And somebody else says here, by the way, books do amazing. Took a book brand to 6 figures in GMV within a couple of months with an 11 on GMV max. Yes, absolutely. That was a faith coloring book. Absolutely. If you can find a niche, right? TikTok is like the niche central, right? The way that the algo works just pushes people into niches so much. So if you have something that's niche specific, highly recommend in a book, I would highly recommend doing that. Let's just see Shelby's question here. I've taken over a TikTok shop that had great momentum earlier this year, and then they went dark for 4 months. How do you best activate this with zero GMV now? So use that in your messaging, right? Hey, by the way, this brand did awesome. We just ran out of stock, but we're now back in stock. That's the kind of creator messaging. And then I would go back to those creators that crushed before. Hey, be like, hey, we'd love to offer you even more. You're just going to have to go back to them, Shelby, like that. Are there good creators and decent potential to succeed in TikTok Shop for a product that appeals to women's in the 40 plus range? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. I would say like if you're talking like seniors, probably not Dana or Dana. I'm not sure how I pronounce that, but Yeah, just so you know, absolutely. There's tons of people there. And to be totally honest, like remember millennial moms are the ones that crush on the platform right now as far as creators are concerned. They're still the best creators. I think it's just because they've had so much time to kind of hone their craft as far as like being a creator or influencer is concerned. So let's keep going. I'm gonna there's a million questions, but I'm gonna keep it going. So how to keep the flywheel spinning. So number one is daily performance tracking. So we use a command center. Also Halo, the tool that I'll be rolling out soon. If you guys are on my email list or school or anywhere, Twitter, LinkedIn, I will make sure to make a big announcement about when Halo is going to be in beta. Right now, we're starting to slowly beta test our clients at Social Commerce Club into Halo. It is looking really great. And we're trying to rebuild our entire, the way that we manage brands. We actually want everyone to have access to it. In what is called a command center, right? So that's the TikTok Shop command center. And it really shows all of these like big things that we're working on right now. Making sure that you use commission tuning is super important as well. We had brands that we work with that are doing, millions of dollars a month. And at first we were paying a lot of commissions and then slowly we started to bring it back. Creators will work with you. Once you have a lot of GMV, they'll still want to work with you even on a lower commission. Remember, $5 is the minimum for creators. They want to make at least $5 per sale. So if your commission is not there, you have to raise it up to that, which is why AOV is so important. And then creator upgrades is a big part of this too. Like we're taking our top performers and then turning them into partners with retainer deals, and getting them to do UGC on other platforms as well. So just so you guys know, and then just making sure your inventory planning is good. I should actually partner if anyone knows like of a good inventory planning platform for me to partner with. Let me know. Like send it to me because I don't have a good one right now that I'm partnering with. So just so you guys know. I am going to get to a couple of questions. Where do you sell books on TikTok Shop? Just like everything else, Sam. It's a physical product that you sell on TikTok Shop. What do you mean by TikTok exclusive hooks? How do creator bundles work? Oh, Victor, multiple questions here. All right, let's go with TikTok exclusive hooks is just what is working right now and trending on TikTok. That's what I mean by TikTok exclusive hooks. It's like, what are those like special, like, years ago, TikTok made me buy it, right? I mean, that's more of like a hashtag, but like there's certain things that are working on TikTok specifically and making sure that you're really tuned into what that is really important. How do creator bundles work? Do I have to set up multiple SKUs at Fulfilled by TikTok? That's a good question. Something for my team to reach out. Victor, reach out to me, Jordan at socialcommerceclub.com. I'll connect you with somebody on my team and they can explain that to you. Or actually, if you're part of the school group, we have all of that information within the custom GPT. Again, I could probably go in there and answer the question for you like that on how exactly to do it. I am not going to do it justice to get into the weeds there. What are usually supplement brand GMV max ROI targets? I found my book brand does so much better. The max we've been able to push to is the 3.3, but we're only 3 months in. So it doesn't really matter what the level is. The matter, like, again, remember the direct correlation is between amount of affiliate content posted and amount of video views to revenue. So whatever you can do at scale while breaking even is what I recommend. So I think that's super important. Hamza, how long does it take to be profitable on TikTok Shop using the TikTok Shop Blitz strategy? I am going to, because that is such a great question, but it's also a really difficult question to answer. I'm going to give you this forecaster tool that I just put in here, and you can go through that forecaster tool and you can find out for your own brand. Again, anyone watching this, I'll make sure that the forecaster tool, if you're on YouTube or whatever, that it's down below, just so you guys know. All right. Man, it's a lot of talking. We are launching with Refunnel. On Meta, moving all of our TikTok Shop content over. How do you usually pay creators? My recommendation is to pay creators based on ad spend with a cap. So tell them, hey, we're going to pay you 5% of whatever we spend on you on your ads with a cap of, say, $10,000, $5,000, whatever that is. Just give them some sort of cap. That is how I recommend doing that on there. Guys, we have come to the end here, but I want to talk about this. In 2026, relationships are the moat, right? If all you offer is commission, you are replaceable. How to build the moat. And this is really important, probably the most important part of this entire presentation. One-on-one conversations. This is the human aspect, right? Get on Zoom calls with top creators. Brainstorm angles together. Make them feel special. I know a bunch of you probably are going to hop off like, I don't want to do that. It's too much work. It is the work, right? This is like dealing with creators is like this. It's human work. You cannot replace yourself with AI doing this. There needs to be value beyond money, right? Granting priority access to new products. We do that especially with huge brands, right? We're always giving them access and making them feel special. Featuring them, right? Showcasing top creators in your brand channels, email, and social media is also a way that you can do it, which is really cool. Making them feel special, right? And then the golden rule, treat them like partners, not disposable media buys. This is really hard for people, right? And they will build the brand with you. Whoa, I'm going to go to Rob's question here for a second because this is a great question, Rob. And this is what we're going to end on. What are your thoughts on working directly with your creators to create new SKUs to launch? Any experience with this? Yes. I do have experience with this. My recommendation is just to make sure it's profitable across. And I do recommend brands do that. That's great. All right, guys, we are at the end. Thanks, everyone, so much for coming. That was hopefully a lot of info for you guys. If you guys are interested in working with Social Commerce Club, I believe we're booking into February right now. So go to socialcommerceclub.com or check out my school group, TikTok Shop OS. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, and Stripe Atlas for the win. Yes. That is my biggest recommendation. I should be an affiliate for those guys because that is just the easiest possible thing to do. Appreciate you guys all so much. See ya.